Hi, I'm Hayley Victoria and welcome back to my crime and policing channel. In today's session, we're going to be delving further into property offences, and in particular, we're going to be looking at burglary. I know I've already covered burglary a bit, but this time I want to really make sure I differentiate between section 9 brackets 1A and section 9 brackets 1B of burglary. It's the Theft Act of 1968, and that's where burglary sits under. If you remember the Theft Act, its definition of stealing or theft would be dishonestly appropriates property belonging to another with the intention of permanently depriving somebody of it. And that definition is really important because it underpins so much, like loads, especially when we come to these offences that we're studying today. So let's dig straight into 9 brackets 1A of the Theft Act 1968. Ooh, that was a mouthful. Okay, so we've done this before, but I'm going to read it straight off the Legislation.gov.U.K website because, as you know, it's up to date and I talk about it a lot. So feel free to send me some sponsorship or something. You can do it, gov.uk. So, enters a building or part of a building as a trespasser with intent, mens rea, to do unlawful damage to the building or anything therein, or inflict grievous bodily harm of any person therein, or steal anything in the building or part of the building. And the main things we're looking at there are enters, building or part of a building, trespasser, intent, damage, GBH, steal. They're the things we're looking at, those key points there. So let's have a look at what I mean by enters then. So you might just thinking of your head, someone just walked into your house, they've entered, they're going to take something and they're going to leave. But do you have to put your whole self in there? Does it have to be you? So many questions to consider. Well, let's clear that up right now because it doesn't have to be that way. So let's say your window is slightly open and you've baked an amazing cake, right? And it smells so good. I'm always talking about food. Have you noticed? You've baked an amazing cake and it's on the side. You've opened the window to let it cool down a bit. And I slide my hand in and I get that cake out. That entrance has been effective, hasn't it? So the entry does need to be effective, which was covered by R.V. Brown in 1985. Good year, by the way. So R.V. Brown in 1985, where the defendant has stood in a store and he's got his hand through the window for trying to find things to steal. So that the entrance doesn't, you don't have to be all in to get something, if you know what I mean. Equally, do you have to put your hand in or could you put something else in? Well, did you know you can actually just use something else to get something out? Maybe you've got like a bent bit of wire or something, used to hook your cake, bring it out. The entrance has been effective there. You've managed to, the intention to steal is been effective, hasn't it? You've done it. So that counts. Also, and this is a bit weird, right? An innocent agent can also be used to effect burglary. What does that even mean? Well, a child under the age of 10 years old, because as you know, the age of 10 is the criminal age of liability in the UK. So if you send like a little kid in to steal that cake, then yeah, that's effective entry. And also like a trained animal. So let's say you train a monkey up to steal that cake. I never know what people get up to. Whatever you do in your private time is up to you. But if you do train monkeys and one of those trained monkeys enters a building or part of a building and steals that cake for you, the entrance has been effective. Make sense? I hope so. So as we said building before, it's a structure of a permanent nature, but it can be portable. So it could be like a motorhome that you've converted or a narrowboat. You just need to make sure that it's a habitual place of residence, okay? As a trespasser, you're not supposed to be there. You're aware or you're reckless to the fact that you're not supposed to be there. Let's say you live in a shared house or like student accommodation or something like that. Someone is in your communal area and then they go to people's bedrooms to do these naughty things. They're a trespasser. Even if they were originally allowed in the main halls, they weren't allowed to go into your bedrooms and nick stuff. Equally, deception has been used to gain entry or permission. Let's say that, I say it a lot, don't I? Let's say that a bogus official has decided they're from the gas board, come to your house and they want to have a look in all the rooms to make sure your radiators are all right and stuff, You're like, oh yeah, cool, sure, okay. And they're like, yeah, because there might be a gas leak and I really don't want your house to explode or your pets to die. It's best I just come and have a look in it. Yeah, here's my boiler suit. I look really official. And then they go and steal all your jewellery. They've used deception to come into your property. That's trespassing. Also, I said part of a building as well. So going back to the student accommodation thing, part of a building, or student halls, things like that, they might have originally been allowed entrance, but if they're not allowed in the rest of it, that's what they're doing, okay? So intent, so for 9 brackets 1A, remember it's to steal, commit grievous bodily harm, or to cause some damage, unlawful damage. Now then, that's got to be at the precise moment of entry. So you're going in there with the intent, remember mens rea, to go and do those things. Now then, 9 bracket 1B is slightly different, and here's how that is. So that's when you've entered. You've already entered. So having entered the building, ooh, I'm in the building. Well, part of the building as a trespasser, I shouldn't be here. Inflicts or attempts to inflict grievous bodily harm on any person therein, or steals or attempts to steal anything therein. So there you go. Aggravated burglary is where you do a burglary offence, any burglary offence, so you commit any burglary, and at the time you have with you your wife. Well, that's right, wife. And I don't mean somebody you've married, I mean a weapon of offence, an imitation firearm, a firearm, or an explosive. So if you've got any of those 4 things on you, it's an acronym, not a person, then you are guilty of that offence when you're committing a burglary, which is section 10 of the Theft Act 1968. That's aggravated burglary. So weapon of offence, imitation firearm, firearm, or explosive. What's a weapon of offence then? So a weapon of an offence is any article made, adapted, or intended for causing injury to or to incapacitate somebody. So something that's made to do that would be something like a knuckle duster or a bayonet or something. Adapted, that's where you make a weapon out of something else. So let's say I've got, a snooker ball in a sock, right? I've adapted that to turn it into a weapon. Honestly, you should believe some of the things that ended up in the property stores. You're like, you guys are imaginative. So made, adapted, intended could be out, couldn't it? That you intended to use as a weapon. Could be a plank of wood, could be a brick. It's not made to do that, but you're using it as that. You're intending it to do that. And to incapacitate somebody, it could be like tie wraps, gaffer tape, that stuff that knocks you out, the spray. Anything, do the actions. That is burglary 101, section 9 brackets 1A, section 9 brackets B, and aggravated burglary, which is section 10 of the Theft Act 1968. Whew, I feel like I need to lay down after that one. So yeah, remember, aggravated burglary, any burglary offence, and at the time you take with them your wife. Weapon of offence, imitation firearm, firearm, or explosive. I hope that makes sense. I hope it helps with your studies. If you want access to any of that information, look at Legislation.gov.U.K and also Blackstone's policing manuals, because that's where I get all my information from. Thank you very much and see you next time. Bye.